Using financial statements for short-term analysis. How can we use short-term analysis in the business process? Short-term analysis can be used for near future, which is less than 12 months, financial outlooks. It can also help a company to make sure all debts will be covered within the next year. What are current and quick ratios? A current ratio compares the company's current assets with their current liabilities. The quick ratio is the amount of quick cash, which is liquid assets, that is divided by your current liabilities. What is working capital? This is your current liabilities subtracted from your current assets to reach your working capital. What composes the assets? You want to make sure that the assets the company has are of the correct size so payments can be made over all of your debts for the next 12 months. What are inventory turnover ratios? An inventory turnover ratio is the cost of goods sold divided by your average inventory. That will show you how much inventory was sold during a particular time. What is the average collection period? The average collection period is used to determine whether the amount in the accounts receivable is too large or too small. After reading this chapter, I think the three most important points covered by the author were how to review a short-term for financial aspects, the different types of ratios, and how a financial statement can play into your short-term assets for your organization. Chapter 9 was covering financial statements for long-term analysis. So what are quality of earnings? This is how investors and creditors review the company to make sure it's profitable. How do you find your rate of return on investment? The rate of return on investment is calculated by taking your net income and dividing it by your owner's equity. This is the most key financial ratio when it comes to potential investors. What are the types of sales-based ratios or percentages? You need to review your past sales and expenses, and you can do this by finding your net profit and sales ratio. So how do you find the net profit as a percentage of sales? You take your net income and divide it by your sales and then times that number by 100. What are sales ratios? There are actually several different types of sales ratios. The most important ones are cost of goods sold divided by sales, selling and delivery expenses divided by sales, general and administrative expenses divided by sales, depreciation sales divided by sales, lease and rental expenses divided by sales, repair and maintenance expenses divided by sales, advertising divided by sales, and research and development divided by sales. How do you determine earnings data? Earnings data is determined by the price and the earnings ratio and the earnings per share figures. How does long-term debt affect the situation? Long-term debt is not always bad, but you need to make sure that your long-term debt is not excessive. What is dividend data? The information of the cash dividend payments for the past years and also the dividends received. What are the footnotes in this chapter? It includes key important information on the company that can be more describing of the information that is in the financial statements. After reading this chapter, the three most important points covered by the author are types of ratios, types of percentages, and how to utilize the financial statement for the long-term business prospect.